Welcome back to Say Mojo Homestead. Today we have some fun projects and we are going to be focusing on kind of sharing with you what we've done this past year, so our year in review and our hopes and plans for 2023.
Yeah, so we've got two major projects that we have plans for this year. So we're going to be talking about those, and then the rest I think is kind of smaller stuff, but still exciting.
Yeah.
So speaking of projects, behind us is the site for our very first project of 2023.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about that in a second.
Our goats are about to have babies soonish in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I have like goat baby
soon.
fever because all of our friends' goats are having their babies. So I'm like ready.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm very ready. I think I'm more excited this year than I have been, but it's because all of our friends are having goat babies, and it's like,
yeah.
So anyway, let's get started. One of the biggest things that we did in 2022 was this garden expansion. This is how we started 2022 last year, was really adding a significant section to our garden. So we were really happy with this. We basically did all tomatoes in this section this year, and they did okay. They did better than the tomatoes and the rest of it. I'm really excited about what we're going to be moving into for 2023, but we'll talk about that later in the video. We also, in this garden expansion, really defined our kitchen garden, which is really just where we grow the herbs and stuff, and our tea garden, which is right outside the garden. I think one of the reasons I like it so much is because we really did throw in a design element in this section of doing curved rows rather than just your traditional straight rows. Added this little patio section in here to just give a visual gathering spot, which also includes the bird bath and everything. It just added a lot to the garden. Our garden is one of the first things you see when you come onto the property, so I really wanted to make it look nice and welcoming, so it didn't just look like your traditional garden. So this garden expansion area really did that, and we're going to be working on kind of revamping the rest of our garden this year, which we'll talk about later in this video. But next, we're going to go talk about what changed about our goats in 2022.
So in 2022, one thing we did was we actually took out a lot of the trees in this goat pasture behind me, and we set up a pseudo pasture. So what we did was we planted ryegrass, so the ryegrass could grow, and that would give our goats something to forage on. We just wanted to make sure we had a backup in case something happened with grain shortages, or if the prices went really high, that we would have something to supplement the goats with. So we have just planted more ryegrass, and that should be growing this spring. Another thing we added in 2022 to our goats is a new type of goat in our herd. We added Majesty, our mini Nubian, had all Nigerian dwarfs, and this is actually her baby Frost. So we expanded our goat herd and expanded how much milk we could get.
So arguably one of the biggest things that we added in 2022 was meat chickens. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and honestly, I've just been a little bit hesitant. So we kept dragging our feet on it. And then we realized, hey, if we're going to do it, we just need to do it. So we ordered the chickens, and then that was motivation for me to go ahead and get the chicken tractor built before they came. Now, we have not processed them, obviously, but that's coming in another probably 2 weeks. So really excited to see the final results of that. But I have been happy with them. There's some things that we're already looking at, maybe how we can change in 2023 and how we do this and how we operate the chicken tractor. But for the most part, I'm excited that we added them. It's one more meat source, and it just gets us one step closer to not having to rely as heavily on the grocery store and just the food chain in America, which is our ultimate goal out here. So
another thing we added last year to our homestead was pigs. After we went to a pig processing class with Justin Jeremiah at Roots and Refuge Farm, we really wanted to add pigs to our homestead. Because we have a smaller homestead, we knew we needed to get more bang for our buck and have a breed that would give us some good cooking fat that we could render down, but also give us some good meat. So we ended up with a Mangalitsa Berkshire cross. We really liked the way that particular cross grew out really fast, had a good fat cap, but also had some amazing tasting meat. We were so happy, in fact, that we are actually getting the pen ready for some more to come on our homestead. We have 4 pigs coming to our homestead next week. This year we're doing 2 pigs for us and 2 for a couple of friends that want to homestead but aren't quite at that point where they're ready to add pigs to their daily routine and to their farm.
All right, so for this first project we're going to talk about for 2023, our big plans are we are going to change the way that we do baby goats. In the past, we've always pulled them from the mom and bottle fed them, but this year we're going to attempt to let them be dam raised. And the reason I say attempt is because we only have 1 goat who will be a first freshener this year. So none of our goats have ever raised their own babies. So we're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully instincts kick in, even though they've never done it before, and everything will go fine and they'll dam raise them. So part of that means we need to change our setup, because right now we're not set up to really hold baby goats, especially holding them with their moms in there. So what we're gonna do is build birthing stalls and holding stalls for these girls and their babies. So if you can see behind me, we're planning on attaching it to the milk house, the side of the milk house, and then coming this direction with it. So that's what we're working on today, at least phase 1 of that. So project number 1 for 2023 is officially underway. We just got to get this area cleaned up first.
So our next big building project for 2023 is one that I'm so excited about. We are building my greenhouse, our greenhouse. I really feel like we could expand our growing season with a greenhouse. Also, we used a little pop-up greenhouse last year. I was really pleased with how we were able to start seeds early in them. I loved not having to do it in my house, and it worked really well. Having a full-size greenhouse will give us the ability to grow more seeds, to start more seeds, and to start seeds and then have seeds started later for succession planting, which is what we like to do in our garden anyway. So the site for the greenhouse is right behind me. We are going to clear out these trees and we'll remove the fencing so we can access the greenhouse from the garden and have it right here. We'll have to obviously move these blueberry bushes and bring them inside the garden, but this right here is the place that has the best sun and the best location for our greenhouse.
Another thing, which I hinted at earlier, is our garden. We're gonna completely change the way that we garden here at St. Mojo Homestead. So in the past, if you've seen any of the gardening videos, we had that black ground cloth down, and that had been down for, I think, 3 years, at least 2 years, but I think it was 3 gardening seasons. The reason we went with that is because we had major weed problems that first year we gardened and really just got overwhelmed with weeds. And so we feel like now that it's been down for 2 or 3 gardening seasons that a lot of those weeds hopefully have been suppressed. So we have pulled that up and we are just gonna go completely natural, mulching the ground, not using any synthetic ground cover or anything like that. Is because we wanna really start getting intentional about companion gardening. So mixing our crops up, mixing flowers in there, and really doing a good job of that. We also are gonna have to be planting things a little bit closer together than what we were able to do with the ground cloth. So we needed that ground cloth to be gone. The area behind me, the big main area, is really where we're focusing on right now, just regenerating that soil and building it up because we are going to be planting heavier. So we really want to make sure we get the nutrients back up in that soil before we do it. I'm really excited about it because it lends a lot more creativity to how we lay it out. So the designer part of me is really looking forward to playing with that and seeing what we can come up with.
So another thing we will be adding to our homestead in 2023 is the addition of turkeys. We always buy our Thanksgiving turkey. This year we did ham instead, and I just thought it would be so fun to raise our own turkey for Thanksgiving. It's something we've wanted to do for a while, but if you follow us, you know we like to add only one thing at a time so we can master it, learn how to do it well before we add anything else. I feel like we're at the point now, we've done chickens, we've done meat chickens, we've taken a processing class at Roots and Refuge Farm. So I feel like we're ready to have some turkeys. And one side note, something that has actually been talked a lot about on a couple homesteading groups that we're a part of is composting. We've kind of unofficially started composting in our chicken coop. We're going to officially move our whole entire compost system and pile into our chicken coop. They are great composters, and they compost things down quickly, and they add their own manure to it. So it's a game changer in the area of composting, and it's almost silly not to do it at this point because it makes us very hands-off.
So one last thing that would be kind of one of our goals for this year is just getting organized with our feed, our just other like hay and stuff like that, tools, and really looking at a better system than what we have in place right now. Because space is really being pushed to a point where we can't really get it organized. Another thing with that is adding like an outdoor kitchen for just washing garden stuff off and everything like that. So just sort of a whole, we'll just put that in one big group.
Yeah, just cleaning and organizing, getting some good systems in place.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And the planner has really helped. If you guys haven't heard, Cass put out a planner, or put together a planner that is like all things life and homesteading. So it's a great planner that combines like your daily life, if you got a job like that, but also throws in all the homesteading stuff like livestock, gardening, canning, anything that you can think of homesteading. So if that is something you like to do and get your life organized, be sure to check it out. It is always in the description of our videos, the link to go on Amazon and get your copy.
Yeah, I needed a place where I could put everything in one spot, and this just helped me kind of get that spot.
It's been nice. It's been nice. And it's going to keep us focused for all of these goals that we just talked about.
Yes.
So how about highs and lows?
Highs and lows.
I'm going to throw you a curveball. Since it's the end of the year, we're going to do for 2022. So our high for 2022 and our low for 2022.
I'm going to need a minute to think about that.
That's okay.
It was a long year.
It was.
Happened.
I'll go first because I was a little bit more prepared just because I, thought about it and didn't tell you. I love doing that to you.
Yes.
My high was the pigs. I love having pigs way more than I thought. Like we were really hesitant and probably put it off for about a year of getting pigs because of just being hesitant, not really knowing what to expect, being a little bit intimidated by it.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, when we had them, like they quickly became my favorite animal on the homestead, and they're temporary. Yeah. But that was probably my biggest surprise, but definitely my high of just having them. So I am super excited to be getting more this week and get them back out here on the homestead. I think for my low, the freeze was rough. That was definitely part of my low because the orange trees and our grapefruit tree is still kind of up in the air as far as the overall health of the tree.
Yeah.
But I think just for the year, my low would be our garden. It was a little bit disappointing this year. We just got lower yields than we typically would or that we have in the past. And so, I think that's one of the reasons I'm excited moving forward that we're going to be doing the garden the way we are because I think that we're going to have hopefully less of a pest load and also just mixing some stuff up, getting it to do better that way.
My turn. Oh gosh. So, for my high, this probably seems insignificant, but we found a mulberry tree in our woods. It was in a location that we couldn't really get anything from the mulberry tree. It was too shaded. So it was there, but we couldn't reap the benefits of having it. But when we first started watching homesteaders, there was a specific YouTube channel that we would watch that had a mulberry tree. And that I just loved the idea of having one. And then to find one on the property was so exciting. And I tried several times to root it. It just didn't work. And finally this year, we were able to get a little sapling and we dug it up and it's thriving and it's doing well. And that's my high for 2022. I know it sounds silly, but it's something I really wanted. And then to see it and find it and be able to successfully get one was really exciting for me.
It is. It was quite the adventure to try to successfully get one going off of that. So
yeah, so that would be my high. My low was probably Coffee Bunny. She just is not thriving, I think, in the cage setup. I think she would do better maybe in a colony. I don't know. She doesn't want to breed, which who knew there would be a rabbit that wouldn't breed? So she's not really bringing a lot to the homestead. We do have a policy, just because if we're putting money into something, it needs to provide something for the homestead. And the amount of manure a rabbit produces isn't a ton when you garden on the scale that we garden on. So it's nice having her manure. It's almost not enough to merit keeping her if she's not going to breed. So now we have this situation where I really like her. I've bonded with her. I've held her quite a few times. I want her to go to a nice home, but I can't see the point in keeping her here.
yeah.
So I feel like we're kind of in a tight spot with her right now. So,
Yeah. So if any of you guys want a rabbit, reach out to us.
yeah,
because
she's a Flemish giant.
we want to get rid of her,
yeah.
but we want her to go to a good place.
Right. So if you want to get into meat rabbits and you're looking to do a colony situation, I think she would do better in that. We just don't. Right now, we're not set up for that.
So thank you guys for joining us on this kind of year in review and looking ahead to 2023 and what's in store. We're going to go finish up working on some of these projects.
Yes. We got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, we do. We're also doing, I'm kind of excited about this, a collaborative video with Willowbrook Homestead today. So I don't know when that's going to be going up, but we're heading over there, hang out with them for a little bit and talk goats with them.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys have a great week and be blessed.